You know who we are.
The most dangerous morning show.
Put some respect on it.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got some special guests on the line. We have Eboni K. Williams and Dustin Ross. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, team.
First of all,
good morning, Breakfast Club.
Collectively, they are the host of the Holding Court podcast. Okay?
On the Black Effect Network with iHeartMedia.
Right.
Yes.
Now, before we dive into it, Eboni, have you started taping yet for the Housewives of New York? You know, I'm a big fan. I like the show, so I'm ready to see some blackness on there.
Oh, it's blackity black this season, Envy. Yeah. We've been taping for a minute now, and I think you're gonna get everything you're waiting for, brother.
I can't wait because they can't handle your mouth the way you're gonna tongue lash them so great. I can't. I'm excited. I am excited because I watch it, so I see what they do. Ooh, this is. I'm sorry.
And me too. And I want to say my girl Leah has really livened things up when she joined.
Yeah, Leah has given the franchise new breath. I think it's not an overstatement. She's a breath of fresh air. I know she's a mutual friend of ours, Angela, and she's friends with you too, Shopper, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, you know Leah. Leah's dope, and we are quite a dynamic duo. I'm gonna leave it right there.
Yeah, she used to actually be one of the hosts on Lip Service with me back in the day.
Yeah, she told me that. I think she needs to come have a cameo again right now.
Yeah, she'll do it too. We've been talking about it. And Dustin, congratulations to you for your Friends on podcast and the numbers that you did. And I want to say you were an amazing Tupac when I saw you post that.
I had so much fun. I actually was out in Las Vegas, so I was being careful in that costume. But I had a good time on Halloween as Tupac. Yeah, thank you, Angela. I appreciate that.
And look, and Dustin just wakes up with the turtleneck on. You got to be a very special individual to wake up.
You know, Charlamagne, me and you both grew up going to the Kingdom Hall, so we don't miss no details. You know what I'm saying? You know what that's about, man.
Absolutely.
Charlamagne, no, it's not lost. This is a coordinated effort. Dustin popped up with this hunter green turtleneck to coordinate with the pink and green situation I got going on.
Here we go. So how did y'all decide to do a show together, Holding Court?
I'll tell the beginning, Dustin, you can pick it up. So I slid in Dustin's DM. Dustin didn't know me from a can of paint. I'd never met Dustin Ross in my life. I was going to do this show solo at first, and then which was fine. And then I was like, but I want the edge factor. I want somebody that's going to inject a little levity, because it's like I'm gonna be putting down the law and I'm gonna keep it a buck. But I wanted that, and I wanted a black male dynamic, to be honest. I thought that was very important. I never wanted this to feel an exclusively female show. This is a show for everybody in the culture. So I reached out to a homegirl who's like a culture head. And I said, go ahead hunting, Nat, and find me the best talent out there on the gram. And she was like, Dustin Ross, you heard of him? I said, I'm about to. And I slid into his DMs. I was like, brother, I have an opportunity I'd like to speak to you about. Can I call you? And Dustin said,
I said, hell yeah, you can call me. Eboni was, when Eboni K. Williams slides in your DMs, it was just good black. You know what I'm saying? It was the kind of black I aligned myself. It was just good black. So I said, yeah, we're going to take this call. And when she pitched that show idea to me, I was completely in love with it. Thought it was really smart. I thought it was really funny. And it was actually a great new situation for me to be in. So I was just really grateful that Eboni reached out. We took the calls and started developing it. And the chemistry just kind of organically did its thing, of course, which we knew it would. And now we have this amazing show on Black Effect Network. So I'm really excited to be a part of it.
And the chemistry works effortlessly. Dustin, how much do you learn from Eboni? Because
I learn every day. Eboni says things to me, and I just say, "Okay, now what was that? Oh, okay." I learned, how I can get around things and new ways of getting things done because of Eboni through the law. Okay, and I appreciate that because I definitely want my opinion to be informed and know what I can and cannot do out here. So I learn every single time we converse with each other.
And I love that, Dustin, and I love that you're subtextually saying the same, Shar, and that's not lost on me. I humbly receive that. But here's the thing, that's why I wanted Dustin on the show, y'all, is because I could sit here all day with my privilege of my legal background. the show needed that every man, every woman perspective, right? That's able to say, okay, E, you kind of going deep in your legal bag right now. You deep in the political bag, like make it make sense, make it plain. And Dustin does that so perfectly. And I love it. Sure, I know for a fact you listened to the Supreme Court episode. What'd you think?
I loved it, and I learned so much. You know, the reason I love the Holding Court podcast is because we live in this era, and I think Dustin even said that on one of the podcasts. It's like everybody's a lawyer. Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks they know the law, you know, but they really don't. So to hear somebody that actually knows it makes perfect sense.
That's the funny thing. When you see people hold their cameras, whenever you see people getting arrested or somebody getting locked up, there's always the guy with the camera that's telling somebody their rights and don't know what they're talking about. They be like, bro, they can't search your car. They ain't got no right to search your car. Like, you know, so it's good.
They go to warrant. Meanwhile, here's the warrant. Yeah, no, it's true. It's a lot of Google and iPhone lawyers and shit out there, y'all. But you know, I get it. I get it. We are a more informed, we are a more technologically accessible generation than ever before. So it's very easy to confuse a Google search with a Juris Doctorate. And that's why I wanted to do this show, y'all, is because our people the most, Black folk in America, we need a better understanding of law, justice, and the Constitution. Dustin brilliantly called our Constitution our terms and conditions of living in this country. For real.
That's what it is. Nobody reads it, and it's always there. So,
what are y'all feeling like right now? Because, you know, I was up late last night, and I've been all morning trying to check in on these results. So what are your thoughts on the early numbers that came in as we were up late watching on Election Day?
I feel better right now, Angela, than I did yesterday. I'll tell you why. It's because the fact that Pennsylvania is still outstanding. They have probably 1 million more votes to count, and they're going to count them, even though Trump is on some bullshit trying to shut down the count. And that's what you do when you feel you're losing, right? Those votes will be counted. Nevada's outstanding. It's some big states that are outstanding. And the fact that Biden has a sliver of a chance, that makes me feel better than I felt yesterday. I thought I was going to go to bed last night, y'all, with a Trump reelection. And I was horrifically prepared for it. The fact that the numbers say right now, if it was to break, it would break very slightly in Biden's favor. I feel good about that.
What happens? I guess this is an extension of the last Holding Court podcast. What happens if the election ends up being decided by the Supreme Court, or if it goes to the courts?
If it goes to the courts, Trump wins. It's simple as that. We got a 6-3 Supreme Court that favors conservative. Trump shoved this last nominee, Amy Coney Barrett, down our throat. Y'all, she is the fastest confirmation we've seen in American history, carte blanche, bar none. This woman got confirmed with less than 10 days. The election was underway. 60 million people had already voted by the time this woman was confirmed. I think that tells us what we need to know. If Trump gets it successfully, and it would take a state. I want to be clear on that. Dustin and I were talking about that on the new episode of Holding Court that drops today.
That's
Trump
right.
fast cannot individually take anything to the Supreme Court. It don't work that way. A state will have to take up the case for him. So let's say it's Pennsylvania. And I don't think they will, because the governor seems to be wanting to count these votes. But let's say the governor of Pennsylvania said, you know what, I want to stop the count. Then he would have to sue the Board of Elections. Then the Supreme Court would get it. The Supreme Court, if it's up to them, y'all, Trump's going to win. The Supreme Court Trump has put in place is Kavanaugh.
That's his team.
That's his team. It's Kavanaugh,
Literally.
Barrett, and what's the first one he put in?
I know you're talking about that.
I forgot his ass. That was so long ago now. But it's 3 of them, and they're gonna do the bid as president.
I was gonna ask what's the process if he doesn't want to leave. Let's say he just says, you know what, y'all voted me out, but I ain't leaving.
They gonna get his ass. It just don't work like that, Envy. I hear you. Even if they have to drag his ass kicking and screaming, he's getting out. You know, that's it. Period. Point blank.
I think Democrats have to change their whole strategy. I think that their messaging sucks, and I think they keep running these establishment Democrats instead of banking on the people like the Senator Harris's. Like they should trust in their new blood as opposed to trying to keep running those old horses.
Well, I know that to be true, Charlamagne, and the title of today's episode of Holding Court is "We See You. Black men in America are the new swing voter." Period. Black men in America are the new swing voter. People got to get the memo. The Democratic Party needs to get the memo, clearly. Gone are the days where it was a foregone conclusion that Black men are going to vote Democrat 95, 98%. That day is gone. Early exit polls, y'all. 13% of Black men voted for Trump in 2016. Y'all want to guess the percentage of Black men that voted for Trump so far this year?
How much?
Any guesses?
40%.
I would say 25 maybe.
You tried it. You're close, Charlamagne. 18.
Wow.
18%. So I think that tells us everything we need to know. I think it affirms the theory that Dustin and I explore in this podcast. But I have Cedric Richmond on, the good congressman from Louisiana, old friend and mentor of mine. And I asked him, I don't want to spill too much tea. I got to listen to the podcast. But I said, Cedric, how the hell your party let this happen? Black men used to show up for Democrats at the same numbers as Black women, 95 to 98%, every election. Now you got Trump damn near siphoning off 20% of Black men in a general election.
Well, what do you think, Dustin?
For that. Yeah.
Dustin, explain this to me.
Well, I'm more concerned about who's going to count those votes in Pennsylvania. I told Ebony earlier we need the ladies Nino Brown had, bagging up that dope in New Jack City. That's who we need counting these ballots in Pennsylvania, because I want to make sure that every vote is counted. I do think that Black men are definitely the new swing vote. We've seen so many people coming forward in ways that we may not have wished for them to. People like Lil Wayne, people like the conversation with Ice Cube and the confusion surrounding that. So I'm looking forward to closing this chapter once and for all, and then sorting out the pieces afterward. But the first thing we got to do is get Donald Trump's ass out the White House. So let's get these votes counted, and then let's talk amongst ourselves.
Anthony, I know before we discuss like hold your vote, have Republicans ever done a hold your vote campaign?
Hell to the no. Republicans vote in every election, and that's one of the reasons that they can be successful in ways that the Democrats just haven't figured out. That's why their judiciary looks the way they want it to look. That's why right now they're probably going to win back the United States Senate. Republicans vote in every election. Now, I'm not going to shade Democrats. I think the Democratic turnout was great this election. That's the one good thing to celebrate, y'all. If there's any silver lining, we have more voter turnout this election than we've had in really American history.
But do the Republicans ever have to hold their vote?
No, they don't never have to hold their vote. They always get what they want.
Yeah, they get what they want. Democrats, especially black people, yeah, we vote, and then as soon as it's over, you don't speak to them, you don't see them again for 4 years.
But I told y'all why that's the case. Because the vote ain't it. The vote is just the icing on the cake. Not only do Republicans vote, y'all, Republicans put money into politics. Yeah. Republicans, y'all know Petri dishes from high school. They start at the Petri dish level, and they grow the candidate, they grow the platform, they grow the policy agenda at inception. The problem with a lot of us, and it's not our fault, because who would have told us this, right? We didn't create this game. We just trying to master it. And we're coming from a real shitty systematic background that put us out before we could get in the game. But now we're starting to get it, right? That's what we have to do, y'all, as a Black people. We have to start politically from inception. We got to select the candidates, like you said, Charlamagne, get these establishment people out. We need to hand select who we want doing our representation. Then we need to force feed them the agenda. We shouldn't be asking Biden for an agenda, as far as I'm concerned. I don't really give a damn what Joe Biden thinks is good for Black America. Personally, I don't care. I'm going to tell, whether it's Joe, whether it's Bill Clinton, whoever the candidate is, we're going to tell you what is good for Black America, because your white ass wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
What are the other variables you think that cause people to support Trump? Because it can't just be that America is racist and sexist, right? It's got to be more than that.
Dustin, would you like to speak to this and give some insight as to what we learned from the congressman yesterday?
We learned that there's several things that people have that are their own personal agendas for supporting Donald Trump. It could be from greed, it could be just a power issue. Donald Trump is a white American male's dream. He is. He's got the highest job in the land. They associate him with wealth and just being a winner by any means necessary. And a lot of people find that sadly inspirational, and they just attach themselves to that. They don't know anything about the political process. They have no understanding of the effects of his policy or lack thereof. on their lives. They just like the fact that he's bold and brazen and out there, and white is right. And that's what they're attaching themselves to. And
I think they also are attaching themselves to mediocrity. I think Donald Trump represents the last stand against mediocrity, being able to be truly exceptional in this country. I think the man can barely string a sentence together. I think he looks a fucking mess. I think all those things make him very desirable, to Dustin's point, to a lot of average folks out there, especially if you are white and mediocre. Donald Trump is your wet dream.
Yeah.
And I think he represents the last guard of that, because now we are living in a much more global society. It's not just even black and white, it's global, it's international, and you got to show up excellent. The competition is fiercer out here, y'all. And folks don't like it. People want to be able to rest on their mediocrity and the intrinsic value of their whiteness, and that shit just don't go as far as it used to, and they're scared and they're mad about it. And that's why I think they're gravitating towards Donald Trump.
I think he talks a great game, though. I think with Donald Trump, when he first came on, and you have a lot of people at the time that didn't have a job and were making low wages. And then when Donald Trump starts talking, hey, you're going to let all those immigrants come over here and take your jobs? I'm going to make sure they don't come over here and take your jobs. But that middle America that don't have work, it's like, really? Then when you say, you know what, all those companies that go overseas and create all those businesses overseas, I'm going to give them breaks where they have to work here. It sounds good for somebody who doesn't have a job.
But it just didn't happen, right?
It didn't happen, no, it definitely didn't. But it sounded good for somebody who doesn't have a job that's struggling, be like, yeah, he really loves America. And that's what he sold it on.
Yeah, but that's that mediocrity talk, Envy, right? Because what if he told the truth? What if he said, listen, America, I ain't gonna even play with y'all. These global competitors that we dealing with, their STEM skills, their math, their science, their ingenuity, their ability to manufacture and monetize technology is fierce. And we actually, as a American coalition, need to level up. That's the truth. We need to level up. Education-wise, we need to level up skill set-wise, so that we're not just creating walls, Envy, right? And trying to block people off.
Yep.
We're actually creating bridges so that we all compete at a higher level and the pie is bigger for everybody. What if he told the truth about that?
Yeah, America don't make shit with noise. How do you explain the 55% of Cuban Americans who voted for Trump in Florida?
Well, a lot of Cubans, not all Cubans, but generally speaking, a lot of Cubans subscribe to white supremacy, their damn self. They feel they are the white aspect of the Latino Hispanic community.
They identify as white.
They identify as white. Yeah, Ted Cruz is white. That's what he says. He's a white Cuban. And so it's simple. Charlamagne, they subscribe to white supremacy as much as David Duke or anybody else.
Damn. So could y'all, we had a discussion this morning on the radio. We were talking about Lil Wayne and his girlfriend, and I guess they allegedly broke up because Wayne's a Trump supporter.
She said, I just want to clear that up. She said that he broke up with her.
True.
What happened was he broke up with her because of a post that she did. And she was like, damn, I just did this post about voting and all of this. And I got dumped for that. Welcome to 2020.
So the conversation really isn't about them, but just could you be in a relationship or be friends with somebody who is a Trump supporter at this point?
Or on a show where they say all lives matter.
Yeah.
With your castmates.
Well, I was going to punt to you, Dustin. Dustin, you start, and then I'll get to you.
Hell no. You know what I mean? Like you can, I respect everybody's right to have their own political views, but if you are willing to align yourself with someone who has done just literally heinous things, rip kids out of their parents' arms, kids in cages, don't know where the parents are, we can take it all. Just no. So I can't. If you're willing to align yourself with those things and really take a stand and say that represents your character, then that's when I'm gonna have to make some decisions myself. Now we can say hi and bye, I can stand next to you at a bar, and things like that, but I'm not really interested in, talking any further than that at this point.
I already judge you if I see you wearing a MAGA hat. I'm like,
that's it.
I know what type of person.
We don't have nothing to talk about, man. So
yeah. No, if you got a MAGA hat on, you might as well go ahead and be bold and put on a Klan's hood.
It's the same thing.
The same thing. So you're actually asking two different questions of me, and I want to answer them both. Can I be in a relationship, share my intimate space, my body, my bed with a partner who, by virtue of his political support, upholds white supremacy, which is a threat to my very existence? Hell no. Could I be actual friends, have real interpersonal relationships, be vulnerable, connected, spiritually aligned with women or men platonically that did that shit. Hell no. Can I be on a show?
Real
So-
Housewives, because I know there's some Trump supporters on Real Housewives of New York.
There absolutely are. You're exactly right, Yee. Here's my take on that though. When I was given the opportunity, invited to join this group of women on this cast, I had to really do some thinking, right? I'm a trained lawyer. I'm trained in risk assessment. There is risk for sure. But I felt that the risk was outweighed, Yee, by the fact that for 13 years, this show has never had a Black woman, not a Black experience, not a Black lens, not even a Black point of view. So I felt that the opportunity, the necessity for that outweighed whatever personal risk I would take. Y'all know me. I'm not afraid to go into spaces that don't like me, that aren't accustomed to me, that were not designed for me.
I'm so happy that you're on there, Eboni, because I feel like for people watching, it also will be educational for them, because it's hard when you get that one side. And I know Leah's on there and she's not on that side, but it's different coming from you, a person who has had experiences and can have those conversations, and people watching can say, okay, now I get it. Hopefully, you know what I mean?
I think so, Yee. That's the whole point. I'm not there for any other reason, to be honest. You know what I mean? I got plenty jobs. It's not about that for me. It is about what you just said, Angela. It's the opportunity to impact the broader audience that I can't necessarily reach at Revolt, even though I'm still doing that work, and that's an important audience as well. Sometimes you got to show people better than you can tell them. I believe that. I was raised on that. Y'all know I've made a career out of doing that, you know, so I look forward to the opportunity in engaging with my colleagues that believe all lives matter and don't understand why that's problematic. They
need you on there to explain that. Dustin, are you going to hop on to some episodes, or what's going on?
I would love to. I would love to. Me and Ebony knows that I'm down to play whenever she's ready. So yeah.
Ebony, now I got to ask you, I know this is a little off topic, but on Housewives, does that mean that we get to see like what's going on relationship wise? Because normally on the show, there's some type of situation.
Uh-oh, we gonna see Ebony's boo.
You know what? Y'all are gonna see it. I mean, of course, like that was the whole point too. Y'all have known me for years. Y'all know I've been fiercely private when it comes to my personal life, and anything beyond the work, I don't even engage with, because the work is so important, right? And for years, I wanted it to be only about the work. I wanted no distractions. Your girl just turned 37. You know, I'm really thinking about some different things in my life. I'm thinking about starting a family. I'm thinking about what does family even mean to me historically and moving forward. And I think that my work now speaks for itself. I think my credibility is established. And I think it's the right time to explore who I am, not just as a lawyer, not just as a broadcaster or a journalist. Who am I as a woman? Who am I as a friend? Who am I as a lover? Envy.
Hey.
Okay.
Sounds pretty powerful.
Here we go. Here we go.
I can't wait, boy.
That's
This is gonna be
interesting.
exciting.
What defines, I guess, womanhood to you, Ebony?
That's a brilliant question, Charlamagne. I think womanhood is the duality. For me, womanhood is the duality of faith and vulnerability. That's what it is for me. It's the duality of being able to be, you know, soft and feminine and vulnerable and open and tenderhearted, and have the faith to know that I can withstand anything, that even when the shit hits the fan, as it did with coronavirus. And y'all know I was sick for a couple of months and battled that in a very difficult place. And I reminded myself I can take care of myself, you know, and that's a big part of womanhood too.
You know, I wanted to ask.
How bad was your COVID?
It was, I would call it moderate, Char. Thank God I didn't have to be hospitalized or on a ventilator, but I couldn't smell or taste for 6-7 weeks. I had extremely bad neck and back spasms. And to this day, I have remnants of the neck and back pain. I got to take an Epsom salt bath and all of that, like daily, really.
Wow. You know you're an OG from the Carolinas. Epsom
salt. in a pinch, Charlamagne, it might be some Morton salt. That'll work too. That'll work too.
I never do that for my grandma. Put the Epsom salt in a basin and let her soak her feet.
That's it.
Dustin, you've been moving around. Have you had any issues when it comes to coronavirus?
I have not. Thank God. I've been steering clear and, you know, dodging that bullet. But I will say that I've been taking all the necessary precautions. And believe it or not, it's a great time to travel. The planes have never been cleaner. People staying the hell away from you. You know, the social distancing thing is wonderful. So I've actually enjoyed
Listen,
the
I've been
traveling
buying
that
all
I've
these
done.
economy coach seats and getting upgraded to first class on every single flight.
It's wonderful. It's
Hey,
wonderful.
Dustin, you must
Yeah.
be real mixy because I saw where Crystal wouldn't even let you in the house.
She let me in that damn house. I know
Oh,
that
she
much
did?
because yeah, she's going to. She's going to. I'll put it like that. And it's so funny. Some Twitter users actually made a change.org petition to make her let me in the house. So things are moving in the right direction, Charlamagne.
Where were you? Where were you that she didn't want you to come in though?
Well, you know, everybody done been to Tulum a little bit during the
Yep,
pandemic.
I saw you was in
know,
Mexico.
it's just a little bit of that, you know, but I needed that, damn it. I had to get up out of here and all this craziness, you know. And so now my new challenge is getting up in Crystal's house. So thank you for your support, Charlamagne, and I definitely forward you the link to sign the petition.
Now, you know, Offset got pulled over the other day and they searched his car. And the first thing Offset said, you don't have the right to do that. So in that situation, cops pull up, they say, get out the car. We need to search your car. What is the proper procedure?
Okay, so it's a legal answer to that, Envy, and it's a practical answer to that. Okay, so the legal answer is an officer's only supposed to be able to search your car if they have probable cause. Okay, that's the legal standard. Probable cause, reasonable belief that you are up to criminal activity. If they have a search warrant, then that's a lot plainer.
Right.
But if I'm a Black man in America or a Black woman in America for that matter, and an officer says, let me search your car, I'm not about to litigate that on the side of the road because I might lose my life. See what I'm saying? So I think that's what's important. You want to live to, and you said your dad used to tell you this, Envy, make it home.
Right.
Make it home.
The problem is, it's like anybody can say, like, you know, he was driving through a rally and anybody can say, yeah, they had a gun. Anybody can say that any given time.
They can say something small like the comment when I would see when I was practicing, y'all, the cop always said it, boilerplate. I smelled the aroma of marijuana. Just that gives them enough probable cause to now search the contents of your car, sometimes up into and including your glove box and or trunk. And now you got a whole thing. But here's the thing. Here's the good news about that. And I want everybody to get this. This is really an important question, Envy. Let it take place. Don't litigate that shit on the side of the road. Live to tell about it. Your lawyer, if they're any damn good, what we do is we suss out at trial or pre-trial whether or not it was a valid stop. That's the first question any lawyer says. Did they have legitimate probable cause? We find out it's some bullshit. It's that fake ass smell of marijuana or something else that's unreliable. Now your whole case gets tossed because the stop, right? The beginning of the contact was erroneous. So let us lawyers fight that battle for you. Don't try to be a hero on the side of the road dealing with these cops. You'll lose your fucking life.
Oh, I feel like we got a good taste of the Hold the Court podcast.
Okay, yeah.
I like that. You lose your fucking life. Okay.
Sorry. I
love it.
Listen, this is what Butch Williams told me in Durham, who is my legal godfather and my greatest mentor. He said, "Eb, it's always better to be tried by 12 in a box
By 6.
than carried by 6.
That's right.
Hey.
Absolutely.
I got a couple more questions. Why do you think these consultants and political operatives and strategists consistently get it wrong in regards to these elections?
Because a lot of them are performing, Charlamagne. To be honest, I mean, you know, I'm telling you what I know. I used to be in the arena. It's a lot of performance on news these days. It's a lot of performance on cable news these days. A lot of special interests. News is a business. People need to remember that shit. News is a business. The minute they started selling the first bar of soap or laundry detergent at the 6 o'clock news is a business. It's no different than the businesses we're in, y'all. It's advertising dollars rule the day. So you do the math. When the interests are aligned, it might impact the editorial and what these people say.
I don't think America can survive if everyone is operating with all these extremes. It's either all the way over here or all the way over there. But I just think you're ignoring a whole bunch of people right here. And I don't think America can survive unless we start dealing more in the middle as opposed to being on these extremes. What do you think?
I agree with that. I think the problem is, this is what the root of the problem, Shar, is the people that will do as you just instructed and deal with the massive middle, which is by and large most people, those people are not inclined to run for office. That's the best of Americans are not inclined to run for public office anymore. So we need to just put that out there. Okay. There's so many other ways in this country now. It used to be that politics was the high brass of society. It's not anymore. You can make so much more money. You can have so much more freedom, be under less scrutiny, doing everything but being in political office. So I think that the incentive model's not there, Shar, for the people that would take upon the work. That's also a lot of work. You got to roll up your sleeves and redesign the way we talk about and deal with politics in America. And the people that really are best positioned to do that, they're not inclined. Look, everybody's trying to get Oprah Winfrey to run for presidency, right? Oprah is probably somebody that could really do incredible work in terms of bridging those gaps you speak about. Why the hell would Oprah come off of her many, many mansions in Santa Barbara and everywhere else that she lives and take the massive pay cut that she would take to be the president and deal with the bullshit that they deal with every day? They're not incentivized.
You're right. And my last question, are either one of you surprised about the results of the election thus far?
Not surprised, just disappointed. You know, I don't understand how you can see Melania Trump hopping off a jet to go check on kids and wearing a coat that says, "I really don't care, do you?" on the back. I don't know how people can see that and still, you know, just freely vote for that administration to stay in a position of leadership, which is actually laughable. We've been the laughingstock of the world for the last 4 years. And I just don't understand how anybody could align with that, but I've seen stranger shit on the street here in New York City, so nothing really surprises me anymore.
I'm surprised in a great way. I thought the shit was going to be over and it was going to be doomsday for 4 more years last night. So the fact that if we sit here this morning, there is a real, like not a bullshit, a real viable chance that Biden can pull this off and Kamala Harris will be the next vice president of the United States of America. I'm holding on, I'm praying on that hard, and I have sincere hope. I have sincere possibility. I'm cautiously optimistic that this shit could look different.
Those mail-in ballots are good for Biden, right?
They're great for him, Angelo. Democrats vote mail-in and early far more than Republicans. So that's what I'm saying. Like, all facts looked like right now, Biden will likely pull this thing out by the sliver of his teeth. And that makes me feel better than I did yesterday.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys for checking in this morning. Thank you so much.
Make sure y'all check out the Holding Court podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network, available wherever podcasts are listened to.
Thank y'all. And congrats again on your Hall of Fame induction. Y'all are
absolutely
legends.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, Dustin. All right, Eboni.
Bye, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.